I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else.
What makes a good thumbnail? What's good pacing? Like how to go viral.
Mr. Beast, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. What do all of these successful people have in common? They believed that they would make it. Everything you want, money, success, good grades, are all there right in front of you. But there's one thing blocking you, and that's your own mind. It's your mindset, it's your mentality. Thinking big means not limiting your possibilities, knowing you are capable of reaching your goals and achieving success. In The Magic of Thinking Big, Schwartz says, without self-belief, you won't get anywhere. You don't believe in yourself, so the goal you wanted to talk to, the grade you wanted to achieve, and the potential life that you could have lived will slip away from your fingertips. The success mindset is not a simple one, and if you set this up incorrectly, it can actually do more harm than good, creating unrealistic expectations and furthering yourself from your goals. But if you set this up correctly, the grades, the money, and success will all come naturally, because when you believe you can do it, you overcome obstacles. You generate the energy, skill, and power to set and achieve your goals. So here's how to set up your mind for success. Number 1, the failure mindset. When you talk to someone who has failed, you often hear them say this: oh, you know what, like I knew it wouldn't work out anyway, guys. Like I'm not really surprised I failed, to be honest. Like, you know, I'm just like normally fail. And from the very beginning, these ventures were seeded with failure. And imagine for a 100-meter Olympic sprint, what are all the athletes thinking? They're all thinking, I'm gonna win this race, right? I'm gonna beat all these other people, I'm gonna win. They're not thinking, oh, I might lose. Like, you know what, like it doesn't actually matter if I lose. Like, it's about the participation. Nuh-uh.
The fuck you mean? Nah.
Their whole life depends on this. They're thinking they're gonna win. They believe they're gonna win. When you start out with a mindset of, oh, I'll give it a try, but it doesn't matter if I fail, it's probably not gonna work, you've already given up. Think to a time where you thought this, because it's such a common response. I'm gonna fail this test anyway. Like, that girl's gonna reject me anyway. It's a response to fear, because you're a coward. Admit it.
You're a pussy.
You fear failure, so by setting your expectation low, it hurts less when your results are low. If you don't believe you can do big things, you won't do big things. If you believe you're worth little, you'll receive little. Disbelief causes our opinion of ourselves and our possibilities to shrink. Society implements these thoughts. If you have crazy ambitions, you get shut down for being foolish. It was said to be impossible to go to space, but we did it. Steve Jobs was called stupid for trying to invent things, but he founded Apple, the biggest tech company in the world. A sub 2-hour marathon was called impossible until it wasn't. It's all impossible until someone proves them wrong. But right now, the biggest hater you have isn't other people. It's something even worse than that. It's yourself. Number 2, Mr. Triumph and Mr. Defeat. Your mind is a factory producing endless thoughts. The factory has 2 foremen, Mr. Triumph and Mr. Defeat. If you send the slightest signal to one of them, either one of them, they're gonna snap to attention. You think, oh, today's off to a really bad start. Mr. Defeat springs into action. He produces loads of negative thoughts. You're right, I didn't get enough sleep. Oh, today's such a bad day, it's so cold. The weather's bad, you have so much to do. Your parents probably don't even love you. And soon it's a really bad day. Negative production goes into overdrive. But tell yourself that, you know what, it's actually going to be a good day. Mr. Triumph comes in and manufactures positive thoughts. If you let him, Mr. Defeat will produce reasons why you'll fail at something.
Failure! You're still a failure!
But likewise, if you let him, Mr. Triumph will manufacture reasons you'll succeed. So think success. Whenever a difficult situation arises, think that I will overcome this. I'll find ways to overcome this and win. Because when you think that it is possible, your mind thinks of ways to reach that. By saying that you can't do this and this is impossible, your mind as a basis is not going to be able to generate thoughts because you've already set that as impossible. It might feel temporarily better when you don't do as bad as you thought. Like, oh, you said you were going to fail, but actually instead of failing, instead of getting an F, you got a D. Good job. But that D is still shit, bro. That not as bad is still bad. Thinking you'll ace that test and you putting in the time to study and work towards that goal will end up so that you actually end up performing better. Remind yourself that you're no different to your role models. Steve Jobs said that everything around you that you call life has been made up of people no smarter than you. 3. Ego. Ego is needed to succeed. Fear is an infection of your mind, and when it spreads, it stops you from taking chances and jumping on opportunities. All athletes and successful people are egoists. Confidence is the antidote to fear. The way you reduce your fear is to isolate it and take action. Think of a sales executive who's terrified of losing her job because the company's like doing redundancies and they're firing loads of people. The profits are plunging and like the atmosphere in the company is really bad. That she might think there's nothing she can do and just hope for the best. But hope is not enough to change the situation and remove her fear. Instead, she could take action. She could investigate the reason for slipping sales and rally her team. She could seek the advice for other managers and formulate a plan for action to boost sales. Or she may want to hedge her bets by polishing her resume and looking out for other opportunities. In all cases, she's taking action and control of her life and doing something about the situation. Fear conquered. There is some kind of action for every fear. Worried about a big test? Use that worry time as study time. As an actionable step right now, think of something you're putting off and start it. Make progress towards that goal. If you want to start going to the gym, research ones that are close to you and start thinking about it positively. If you start thinking, oh but it's too far, like the people might make fun of me, like, but oh it's gonna be like so difficult, it's gonna be cold, I'm gonna have to walk there, people are gonna make fun of me, you're never gonna end up going. Mr. Defeat as one. When setting goals and thinking big though, know your limits. It's good to think yourself highly and have ambitious goals, but only when you're willing to take action. If you said to someone you could bench press 60 kilograms and you said to them by the end of next week you gotta double that, 120 kg. However hard you try, you're gonna start being nervous because it's physically impossible. Even on steroids, that's not possible. You're gonna start sweating and thinking of negative thoughts because it's just not possible, and you're gonna dread that week comes, and throughout that week you're gonna not be able to sleep and just mess yourself up. So the point is, think positive and think big and believe in yourself, but give yourself ample time and know your limits to meet your goals that are physically possible, because there's nothing stopping you from starting now, right? And lastly, a bonus tip is to not tell others about your goal. There were two groups of people who both wanted to make progress by going to the gym, and they both set goals, but one group told other people about their goals, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna start going to the gym now guys, whereas the other people just internalized it and just kept their goals to themselves. Both were given a week, and the group that didn't tell others actually ended up making more progress and going to the gym on more days, because by telling others, you're unconsciously sharing your goals with them, and their actions and thoughts will influence you. Don't be the guy who tells everyone that he's gonna make huge progress but ends up not and making a fool out of himself. Mindset is extremely important, and at the end of the day, if you think about it, there's only one thing that's separating you from your role model, and it's that their brain made the right choices and their brain believed in themselves. You've seen that all of these actions, all these good habits are all a domino effect that stems from belief in yourself. So use this to set up yourself for success. And guess what? Today's gonna be a good day. But also, your successful mindset comes heavily from your environment. If your parents were ambitious and they're always telling you like you need to be like pushing yourself, do all these activities, you're going to be more motivated. Same with if you're in the gym with like partners like and your friends and they're always motivating you to do just a bit better, you're going to start having a more successful mindset. And the thing is, this is quite hard to do and people pay thousands to do this. Be surrounded by mentors or people that are high quality, but actually you can do this for free by joining Superior Students. Superior Students is quite unconventional in the way that it's a social media, but not in the way that you think. It's a place where students gather. It's a sanctuary, it's a hub where students are giving and receiving advice, telling others what they've learned throughout the way. And you can find people who's doing the exact same exam board as you, the same tests, and what they found. And there's also free and exclusive courses that are being updated every month for you to learn how to learn or balance studying and fun and all these different things. So if you want to join Superior Students and start getting the success mindset and working towards your goal of becoming a better student, join Superior Students for free in my description. First link.